You're sharing your deepest, darkest secrets. Someone's looking at you like, I wouldn't do that. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny, and today we're going to be talking about 7 good reasons to fire your therapist. So the first one is a huge one. You feel like your therapist is not culturally competent. They're not trying to learn about your culture, and they're making mistakes about your culture. They're stereotyping your culture. If you feel that way, that may be a good reason to move on from them and find someone that you might feel is a little bit more competent culturally, or even someone who's actually willing to learn. As a therapist, it's really important that we're aware of where our patients come from and that we're interested in learning where they're coming from by either them telling us or us researching on our own. Number 2, you don't feel safe speaking up as a patient. And this is extremely, extremely important. And I say this because if you didn't like a certain tool in therapy, if you didn't like a certain technique done, it's important that you're able to communicate this with your therapist so that they can provide the best care for you. Say you're in session and your therapist is referring to something and you don't enjoy it and you just kind of stuck there like, I don't like this. I don't feel safe saying it because I don't want to upset them. Like, imagine that's happening and you're just sitting there like, that's a waste of your time and your money, and it's just not helpful for you. Number 3, you feel like your therapist is spending the therapeutic hour talking about themselves. And if that happened to you, I'm sorry. It's one thing for your therapist to relate to you and share maybe small tidbits of things that, might help you advance in the therapeutic process. But if they're spending like 30 minutes asking you about your financial business or trying to get tips from you, then you shouldn't stick around. You should probably find someone who's more willing to listen to you and help with, reaching those therapeutic goals. Number 4. You're feeling pressure from your therapist to share things that you're just not ready to share. When you get to therapy and you're doing an intake can be very invasive. And this is because your therapist is just trying to learn as much as they can about you. But if you're feeling like they're asking a question or they'd like to know something that you're not ready to share, that's completely normal and that's okay. And you should be able to tell your therapist like, hey, I'm not comfortable sharing that yet. I can share that with you later. It's completely normal and you should be able to do so. But you should also understand that your therapist may come back later to ask questions. Number 5, your therapist is not holding you accountable. Yeah, you heard that. Your therapist should be holding you accountable. And it's very important that they do, because when you're coming to therapy, you're setting goals. Like, why are you here? What is the presenting problem? And once you share that with your therapist, they should be checking in with you periodically. We talked about you doing this. Has it happened? And if it hasn't, what barriers are stopping you from accomplishing this? And they should be holding you accountable in a safe manner. And I mean, in a safe manner, they should be, supportive in holding you accountable. Number 6, you feel judged. Oh my God. Yes, you feel judged. When you come to therapy, you're bearing your soul to someone. You're sharing your deepest, darkest secrets. You're sharing, your whole self, if you're comfortable to, and you've gotten to that point. So if you're sitting there sharing that and someone's looking at you like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. If someone is saying that or just giving you that look, then it can be uncomfortable, and you don't want to sit in therapy uncomfortable. This is supposed to be your safe space. So don't take that. Say next. Number 7. This is a simple and easy final one. You want to see your therapist weekly and they don't have the availability. You may really like a therapist and you're like, I really like you, but I can only see you once a month. I was looking for something more frequent. And that's okay. You can tell your therapist like, hey, like, I'd like to see you more often, more frequently. And if you're not able to provide that, I'm going to find someone else. And if you end up, having cancellations or you end up becoming more available, I'd love to come back with you, because it can be hard to find a therapist. So if someone has a wait list or they're telling you like this and that, like, I would just definitely keep on looking. So those are the 7 reasons I would move on from a current therapist to the next. I'd like to know in the comments, have you all ever had to leave a therapist? How was that? Did you find that it was hard? I'd love to hear from you all. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.